Hi guys, today we're filming my fifth or sixth episode of my podcast, and it's called "That's Fine with Me." I'm still waiting for your questions, and probably something that you might be interested in. That's why I have mailed down the description box. You can check this out and ask me anything. It's going to be 100% anonymous. We're going to get started today with discussing something super juicy. It's not juicy, okay, like it's not juicy. I will talk to you guys that this Saturday, my husband is celebrating his 30th birthday, which is going to be huge. And it's funny to say, I offered to kind of have this big celebration with his friends and probably even his family members. And he said no, he wants to celebrate this with me and he wants to go somewhere and celebrate this day spontaneously and unexpectedly, let's say. So we have to go probably to the center of the city and just walk. If we want to go to a restaurant, we're gonna stay there. If we want to go to somewhere else, like museum or just have a walk, then it's gonna be it. It's really interesting, but a week before his birthday, he started feeling a little bit anxious and anxiety is like working on him. When we talked, he told me that he has this weird feeling before his 30th birthday because it's major. I mean, the whole decade flew by and he was 20 and now he's 30, almost 30. I turned 29 this December, not this, like 2023 December. And that was probably the first birthday in years and in a while where I didn't feel depressed and I felt okay. I'm like, I embraced my age, I embraced this date. And I guess really what helped a lot was that I actually needed to go out and spend this time, quality time with my friend. And I did. And I felt more or less, um, you know, confident that I needed this day to be. It's just a number. It depends on how you feel, how you look, how you can, kind of have something in life. But I know about this crisis a lot because I've been having this for ages, up until the point where I was 29. And when I am 29, I tell you guys, my husband, he has this anxiety, but when I talk to him, I said, like, what is it about? So you have to think in a positive way, like, see this from a little bit different angle. You are about to be 30, but at the same time, you have a career. So he has a really nice career versus me. I mean, I am an influencer. I don't really earn any money out of my channel. So I'm kind of doing this every single day. I'm literally filming, but it's not bringing any income to my family and it doesn't support me. It's not, I can't call it a business, but it's something that I'm passionate about. My husband, he's married. I mean, by 30, he found his soulmate. I hope he found his soulmate. And then we have like an apartment. What else to wish for? I mean, like, not what else. Of course, there's always going to be something else to wish for, but a kid, it's in a process. I feel we're about to have our first child in a couple of years. I hope it's gonna work for us, but it's something that we came from the point where we wanted a kid at some point of our relationship, and then we just had our career going on, and then it just kind of stopped. That's why, I don't know, I guess when it's happening, and I really want to share some cool news with you guys, but it hasn't happened yet. So stay tuned. I hope it's gonna happen really soon, but I don't really know. That's why I don't really want to spoil the news for my family, and hopefully it's gonna bring more content and more, let's say, joyful videos. But guys, let me tell you my path when I started doing, let's say, my vlog and blog and like, YouTube channel. I was 23 or 24. I turned 24. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, like 5 years straight. And I wasn't consistent at first. Now I am quite consistent. And yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years and I have only 753 subscribers for now. And I'm not complaining, but I'm saying it's not always going to be an easy way to gain followers, to gain their trust, your trust, guys. In particular, they're not always going to be millions of views and even thousands of views. I understand that. And I know some of you might have dropped this sort of idea of being a full-time creator, but my husband, he supports me, and I guess it's not even the support that he provides is like, yeah, go ahead and do this. Of course, he's a little bit scared that I don't really work and have no income, and he's not even scared of income. He's scared that there are not going to be such thing as some bonuses when I retire, and my retirement, let's say, I'm not gonna have any income when I'm retired. And yeah, I understand this. Am I scared? I am scared. And I would say my husband, when I talked to my husband years ago, I used to work for an embassy, and I told you this a couple of times. So I am an interpreter, translator, I'd say. And every single time I was looking for a job, everyone asked for my experience. So, are you experienced? And of course, when I graduated from university, I had no experience whatsoever. And of course, I wanted to work for an embassy, but it was just like, oh, no one is gonna hire me because I'm inexperienced. Funny to say, but a lot of embassies, they are hiring people with no experience. If you have good sort of pronunciation, and if you can speak English, or if you can speak some language that is important to this embassy, then they're probably going to hire you. Of course, there are going to be lots of people that need this job, but okay, guys, it's up to you. Of course, where do you need to get your first job? And when I went to this employers and talking to them about how I'm passionate about doing some job and working for them, every single time I heard two phrases. The first one, I guess you're a little bit too old to start your career. You're 24 already. Oh, 24 to start a career. Oh my God, I'm so old. And the second one, when are you planning to have a kid, like a first child? And first of all, I guess I understand their worries about me having a child, and I get it. I get it, literally. But it's none of your business at the same time. I mean, if I tell you I'm not planning to have a kid, but in 2 months I'm pregnant, how do you know that I'm not lying right now? Or how do you know that it's not just gonna happen out of nowhere? I wasn't planning a kid, and then in 1 month, I unexpectedly am gonna be a mother. We don't really know this. Or I'm planning to have a kid within like a couple of months or like a year, but it just doesn't happen for me or my husband, or something is wrong and we can't have this kid. I guess it's a little bit improper to ask this type of questions because we all deal with different sorts of things. But I guess it's understandable when an employer is asking this question because, like, your employer is concerned that you might have a maternity leave. By the way, when I worked for an embassy, I had this kind of weird thing where my colleague, she was 28 back then. Yeah, she was 28 back then, and she gave birth to her first child, and then they gave her 3 months to spend with a newborn, and then she would need to come back to work. Her husband stayed at home and she worked because I guess she had this like her salary was a little bit higher than his was, and he was working from home or something like that. But it's so funny to say, when she gave birth to her first daughter, she in 3 months she had her first sex with her husband, when like after she gave birth, and she got pregnant one more time, her second daughter. She didn't expect this at all, and that is something that I'm talking about. Sometimes some unexpected things and some unexpected changes can happen, and you don't really know what is going to happen. So this is a really crazy and weird question where people are like asking you, who do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, I don't even know what is going to happen in 1 week, and you're asking me what I'm going to have in 5 years. Okay, let me tell you this. 5 years ago, I thought my channel would grow and I would gain at least a couple of thousand subscribers, at least. But it didn't happen for me. Like 5 years later, I'm here now filming my podcast and I have under 1,000 subscribers. I'm not complaining. I'm saying that my plans, well, yeah, I can plan something, but I don't really think it's gonna happen. And for example, my really good friend, 5 years ago, she was planning to have a family. She met this guy, they were planning a wedding, and then something so crazy happened. She broke up with this guy. She started dating a girl. Then she started dating another girl. Both of these girls, they were suppressing her and they were literally beating her up. And that just happened, but she felt like she was in a better place because this boyfriend, he fucked her up and she couldn't trust men anymore. That's why she started dating girls, and then these girls started behaving and treating her like in a weird way, and then she ended up in a relationship with a 53-year-old guy. So if you ask her 5 years ago what is going to be your plan, I guess she wouldn't even consider that she would try some relationship with girls and then end up with a guy who's like twice older than her. I don't really say that it's bad. It's the experience. It's the path that you probably chose, and something that happened to you. But don't I don't understand the point of the question when employers are asking what do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Yeah, someone can tell you that I see myself in 10 years. Really, like if you're working in the same field or like working for like if you work in the bank and someone asks you like who are you going to be in 5 years and you're like I'm going to be I don't know head office boss or something like this and he ends up exactly there, it's great. But sometimes I know there are certain things where I had a friend of mine and she said that she worked with a girl who used to be in a bank. So she worked for a bank. And then she said, yeah, she had a great salary. She had everything. But she literally, like, her life was passing by because she spent so much time in this bank that she couldn't see herself anywhere else but her work. And then she quit her job. She found something different in art sphere and she fulfilled her dreams. She had a little bit less money, probably not even a little bit less money, but she felt absolutely happy because she was doing something that she wanted to do. I don't really know what happened to this girl now, but I know that back then she was happy with something that she was doing. And that is interesting, where to get your first job, you have to have experience, but to get this experience, you have to have a job. And I know that was crucial to me. And there are a couple of companies that offer this opportunity. The worst problem is where you see a lot of great and huge companies, they have this let's say internships where they don't really get you payments. You have to work for them and they can give you some credentials. They can give you some letters that, oh, this girl is nice, you can hire her now. But they don't really pay you money. And I don't understand how it works in our society. And it feels okay for a company to do this. I mean, you can pay at least bare minimum. Yeah, I'm inexperienced, but I still do some job. Probably the first maybe month, even 2, 3 weeks, you are super inexperienced and someone is teaching you. I understand and I get it. But in a month, I guess you can do at least some bare minimum and you can get this wage that can provide some food, spendings and to get from one place to another. Because during this time, your parents, they paid for your education and now they have to pay for your work. I mean, you work for someone for free. And I remember when it was so funny because when I started doing started searching for my first ever job, I was submitting my CV to to numerous, let's say, companies for free. I was willing to work for free, and yeah, it didn't really go well. Most of them had such weird standards, like you have to do this, that, and you have to be experienced to work for free. And I was like, it makes no sense. Why would I work for you for free if I have experience? And that pissed me off every single time. The worst problem that you can't do this. And now, a lot of companies, not even companies, but a lot of sort of people are saying, oh, she wants to be an influencer. She doesn't really want to work. Well, let me tell you guys, when you're an influencer, the only thing that you really need is camera, your laptop, and some lighting. And probably not even a camera, just buy a really good quality cell phone with good quality camera, I'd say, and just start filming. I don't really need to ask any permissions. I don't really need to ask someone who is going to hire me. They're not going to ask me some weird and shitty questions like, oh, when are you planning to give birth? Or, oh, you're too old to do this job. You're 24 already. I mean, we know so many different examples with, like, if I'm not mistaken, Very Long, she started her career when she was almost 40 or she was 50 something, 50 plus. And yeah, she's one of the best designers for wedding dresses. And it's so crazy when people say that if you're 24 or 25, you're old to start a career, and that where society losing their vision of what is okay and what is not okay. It doesn't really matter if I'm 60, but I'm doing this job better than someone who's 17. Why do you care? How old am I? Why do you care if I'm 40 or 50 or 90 years old? Because I know that a lot of old people, they're so deliberate and they're so hardworking people that they can perform some types of jobs that are much better performed than someone who's 17 or even 20, 25, 30. I don't know. it depends on a person. I mean, it doesn't really rely on your age. It relies on how you can perform certain skills. I know that in China, I talked about this in one of my previous podcasts, that China is the country where about 30%, and I'm talking about people that are under 30 years old, they are not doing any sort of jobs. They're playing computer games, or they are sort of influencers. And that is a huge problem for China because the economy is growing and everything is so great right now. But later on, where like old people starts dying, and like 30-year-olds are gonna sort of have their chances to show themselves. They're not working, so they are inexperienced, and they're gonna be a huge gap of who is gonna perform those tasks. But I don't know if it's true or not. I just watched some documentary about Chinese economy and how it's growing and how fast it's growing. But the problem with someone who's under 30, that they don't really want to work, that's why it might cause some shift later on, that the economy is gonna stop from developing. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know. That is the main reason why I feel we are in this sort of cycle where you have a job that's great, but if you want to start like shift from this position to something different that you have a call to, then no one is going to hire you, especially if I want to change my career when I'm 35 or 40 years old. For example, I want to become a designer and I feel a call to this, or a singer, I don't know, someone else. And then I graduate from university and I'm, for example, like 45, and no one is literally going to hire me. So the only way is to find some probably friends that can help you out with this. Or probably you just I don't even know how to switch from one career to another. Probably because you have some resources and some money at the same time to sustain yourself, and probably have some business, or you're going to invest in some sort of business where you can later on grow your sources and your friendships and contacts. I don't know how it's going to work for some of us later on. And when my husband tells me that he has this anxiety, I kind of get it. But at the same time, he has something that he can call a career path, like his wife and home and car. That's why I don't understand where this anxiety comes from. I guess it comes from, again, society, that when you're 30, you have to be somebody already. And if you're not, then you're a loser, probably. That is definitely something that I hear a lot, especially when I say, like, when people ask, oh, do you work? Like, what are you doing in life? And I'm like, I'm an influencer, or I say that I stay home. I don't really want to drag this attention where I say I'm an influencer because they're going to be, yeah, another influencer. So how is it going with your influence or something like this? I know it's going to be shitty. That's why I avoid these people and I don't really talk to them. And most of the time I skip this type of talks. And I would say I have a friend of mine, she's a journalist. And when I talked to her, she said that she wanted to do some sort of YouTube channel or some other channels as well, but she works as a journalist right now. She wanted to be a model, but she skipped her dream. She wanted to be an actress, but her parents disapproved. And she just went to the path where she's a journalist. She writes good articles. I read them. I really love it. I appreciate her work that she does. But is it something that she wants to do? I know she's a talented person and she's someone who's always into some art projects, and she reads a lot of books, a lot of classics, and she watches a lot of films that are deep, and it's classic films as well. But is it something that she's passionate about, or she wanted to be she wanted to be an actress, but her parents disapproved? That's why she kind of let down to her dream. And I don't know. For example, another friend of mine, she went to the same college as I did. She wanted to be a teacher. Basically, her dad wanted her to be a teacher, but she didn't want to. She wanted to be a designer. And as soon as her dad passed away, oh, he was 86, if I'm not mistaken. When he passed away, she was 15. And he asked her to promise that she would carry on with this teaching path. And she said that I love my dad, but I wouldn't do what he wants me to do because this is my life and I want to be like happy. And that was so cool that I I never, like, back then I didn't know that you could literally stand up to your own beliefs. And her mom supported her, I'd say, and she quit this. No, she didn't quit. She took her documents and she transferred to some university and she has become a designer. But it's funny to say years later, when she was 26, I guess, she switched her major a little bit. And right now she's a teacher, but she teaches kids how to design and how to create some artworks. That's why I guess that worked for her and her dad at the same time because she committed to this wish that he had before he passed away. That right now she's a teacher, but she is a teacher in major that she wanted to perform. And she worked for a couple of companies, so she's experienced as a designer. She's not just a teacher, she's someone who worked as a designer and then she started teaching kids how to do this. She's a graphic designer. And I have another friend of mine. She is 27 right now. And she has a major in opera. She sings opera. And right now, she doesn't get any money out of this. So she has to work as a babysitter. She works as a babysitter, but at the same time, she performs in nightclubs for free for now. And she told me that it is her passion. That's why, of course, she's doing singing, but she has to earn money. And this is her career path. She's very passionate about this and she wants to be a famous singer one day. That's why, I don't know, we all have our dreams and our path. And I was thinking, when I quit my job and like when I quit embassy, I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Because I really love doing content. I love creating content. I love like, reading your comments and doing makeup. At the same time, I love doing this in English. And I feel like probably embassy is something that I can do. It's not bad. But I hate this, where I have to wake up every single day and go to work from 9 to 5, 5 times a week, where I have no freedom to choose what am I going to do right now or like an hour later. And you know what? Yeah, of course, it's a little bit crazy because I do lots of makeup looks. I do lots of dressing ups, closet, outfits, and all of this. But I don't really go out that often. With my husband, I try to do this every weekend. So every weekend, I try to be out in public or something like this. But from Monday to Friday, I stay at home and I film some content, podcast shorts, full videos for you guys. And I really love it. I appreciate your comments and that you subscribe. And that is the main reason why I feel that our society needs some change and it has to shift. 30-year-olds are becoming someone and it is becoming okay to have freedom. So you don't really have to do something that used to be a strict rule years ago. Right now, you have this option and opportunity to perform something that you really love and you're passionate about, your dreams. And it's so cool. I hope that within a couple of decades, we're going to shift completely and we're going to have a little bit more freedom. Real quick example, my embassy, like the embassy that I worked for, they had a lot of things and tasks that you can do at home. You don't really have to stay there and physically. And I couldn't understand why would you need to go there and spend that much time just doing some random stuff that you can do from home. And it's not only about embassies, it's mainly about other, let's say, companies that are not willing to give up. They're not willing to give up this shift from 9 to 5, 5 times a week. What if you do this probably like 1 or 2 days, where you can work from home, and 3 days where you can work from office? Of course, I'm not talking about some plants, or I'm not talking about some manufacturers where you have to be physically there present. But I am talking about some work that you do from office and you know that you can do this from home. You just need a laptop and probably that's it, an internet connection. That is the main reason why I know my husband told me that he works for this company. And a lot of people, when they get these offers about like some job opportunities, and it's kind of prestige to work for this company, but a lot of people turn this down because they say I want to work from home and you don't really offer this. And that has become an issue that a lot of people, young generation, like under 30 or under 40, let's say, they're not willing to waste their time to get to work, because most of this, jobs, they take you at least an hour to get to work and an hour to come back home. So you waste 2 hours a day to get your job. So it's basically 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week to get to your office. It's more than a full day, like working day. It's wasted. It's wasteful. That's why a lot of people don't really like this. What do you think, guys? Do you agree or disagree with me? I am a huge fan of working from home, and I'm a huge fan of being like self-employed. Though I know it's not for every single person. And some people, they do really need a group of people to socialize, to talk, and just hang out. Well, what about some crisis? If you're about to be 40 or 30 or 20 and you have no idea what is going to happen. So what do you think, guys? I hope this podcast was interesting, guys. And don't forget to ask me any more questions. So that's fine with me. Your questions, they're always fine with me. I'm going to see you in my next episode. Love you guys. Bye-bye.